Elbow was a fetus.
Yeah, it
Yo,
is,
how do
bro.
you get past the fact that like Hikari and Yuta are relative and Kashima was relative to Yuta though?
I don't think Caution was
I mean Kashima was relative to
relative
Hikari,
to
my fault.
Hikari. I don't think base Caution was relative to Hikari, and then on top of that, I just don't think Hikari scales to Yuta. I think that'd be
Based on
like
what?
highly contra. Oh, because Yuta scales to Gojo.
No, I'm talking about Hikari not scaling what's his name.
To Kashimo, he just bullies him on panel.
In the one instance where it seems to be 8 seconds left,
Yeah.
you do understand that's very contextual. Like for one, the nigga literally, like I said, they highlighted this 8 seconds left, and then they literally highlight Kashima's expression, given that he does understand it. And then the nigga literally was trying to fucking unalive him like 3 times before he was unable to. So obviously, it seems that he's taking that into account, and he used that as advantage.
Well, the time doesn't matter. We see Kashimo explicitly says that he's not going to just wait out the timer. That's what he says at the beginning of the round. He says, "Oh, well, if I could just survive this round, I'll win the fight." But no, he's like, "Oh, well, that's how losers think." So obviously, it's not a thing of him just trying to outwait the timer. It's obviously him. He obviously is in some type of position where he's trying to fight back. That's why even after Hikari lands the initial blows, he still punches back and is trying to land hits. I don't know
That's
why.
why
So I don't know why the
I just
timer is
explained it
relevant.
because I just explained the cognitive shift, bro. I'm saying that it seems to be the case that he thinks this right here, but then he thinks something different later on. Like I don't know why you think he has
Wait,
to
why
always
does
think.
their mentality change? That's what's some question.
I just explained it, bro. You just said
No,
that you
you
don't.
didn't know that. Okay, the
Okay, but
question has been begged because because you brought it up initially to justify something else, and then when I put that in a question, you just
okay.
repeated it back.
Well, for one, it seems like you think I think this is more probable. I don't think it needs to be more probable for the claim to go through. Like we're literally just saying, okay, well,
Really?
seems like
Wait,
yeah, like
so
this,
wait, if
yeah.
it's
I'm
not
about to
more
explain. Hold on,
probable,
hold on,
then
hold on,
no,
hold
the
on. Chill,
claim
chill,
can't
chill,
go
chill, chill,
through.
chill,
Do you
twin,
understand how
chill,
claims
twin,
work?
chill, twin, chill, twin. This is a regular comment
Yeah,
off of me, okay?
bro, I'm
Don't
chilling.
cut me
I'm,
off.
I'm just saying, like, yeah, I'm
I'm
just
just
saying,
saying, don't cut me off. I was about to explain why it doesn't matter, but then you
okay,
cut me off.
okay,
Yeah,
sure,
like
go ahead, bro.
I'm
Go
just
ahead.
explaining that this scenario you're trying to use to imply that he's not relative, but this scenario is contextual, and we don't actually know if this is explaining that he's not relative. Whereas we have multiple interpretations that we could posit, so that's why I don't think it needs to be more probable. So given the other context, I think we could determine that he's actually going to be relative.
Okay, yeah, yeah. The issue with that is just going to be the fact that one, we see, okay, wait, well, one, it being contextual just isn't relevant. Or at least not in the way you're framing it. We asked what the context was. You gave some of a context. I explained why it's just unlikely unless you want to posit some type of additional change to Cosmo's mentality, which would just fail on parsimony. And then on top of that, if you want to talk with regards to the other explanations of the feats, like about how they were going relative prior, that can just be explained via Hikari actually getting faster, which is stated by Kashimo. Or in other translations, it's just stated he's going to start going hard and heavy. So obviously there's some type of mechanism to explain Akari performing better later in the fight that is attributed to his own power level and not just like some other context that's not actually highlighted.
Okay, well, for one, you just lied. You never proved it was more probable. You literally just gave the wait,
I
hold on,
never
chill,
said
chill, chill,
that.
chill, chill, gang, chill. I did not cut you. For one, you just literally verbatim lied. It's on rec. Like you literally just said it's unlikely, but you never gave a probabilistic scheme like at all. That's a lie. And for two, you're talking about parsimony. It's like I want you to prove that it's less parsimonious. And then for three, you're talking about the context doesn't matter. But literally, the kanji that you're referencing, it doesn't even say that. We could pull up the kanji. It literally says I'll get even more bolder, and that's referencing the fighting style, not actually the physical attributes.
Okay, yeah, that's fine. So one, the probability thing, you didn't track what I was saying. I was saying it was less probable via the parsimony thing. Obviously,
I just
having a
put
more
that in the
parsimony,
question.
yeah, and I'm about to go and justify that. So obviously, it being more parsimonious to justify it being more probable, and the reason why it would be more parsimonious is because the interpretation you gave with regards to like how Hashimoto's mentality thing, because I brought it up and you were saying it could just change, right? He seemingly has a different attitude later on in the fight. However, that would fail on parsimony unless there's actual proof for it, which there isn't. It's just an equal interpretation. And the reason as to why that's the case is because if Kashimo has some mentality and has some feature of Kashimo, that can be feature number one. And then say his mentality changes, he has another feature of him. That would be two features. That'd be adding some additional thing. That'd be adding to some additional change within his mindset. That's an additional variable that we would have to commit to, which we don't actually have proof for, which is why I think it would be fail on parsimony. We have like more variables to consider. There's additional like things that we're positing additional features of Kashimo. And then as for the
Yes.
kanji, yeah, you can pull that up. I'd like to
All
see
right, I
that.
got you. I'll pull it up in a second.
I
But yeah,
appreciate you.
you're conflating how parsimony works too. Like you're literally saying, well, we should just look at the assumptions, but parsimony is literally a rule of thumb. That's not how parsimony works, bro. It's a rule of thumb which is applicable and when you don't actually have context on these situations. But I already explained that we do have the context, and the context supports my position. But I'll show you the country real quick. Hold on.
Well, no, the context is in question, so that just begs the question. And on top of that, that directly is how parsimony works. It's about the less assumptuous position, given that explanatory power is equal. So just given
But
that.
The question is
Obviously,
whether or not the kanji that we're referencing. That's why I said I'm pull up the kanji, but
yeah,
that's not
yeah,
a
yeah, but
question
the
back.
parsimony point is separate though, because the parsimony point is with regards to Kashima's mentality and whether or not he's trying to just let Hikari hit him. And I was saying, okay, just assume that would just fail on parsimony. The kanji thing is a separate point, and I'm saying that the way in which I use parsimony would just directly be how the term is defined definitionally. There's no misuse of it there. It's
Okay.
quite literally just whatever's less assumptuous in any
Well, I'm about
given
to show you the kanji,
hypothesis.
but you're that's not a question bag at all. Literally, like you're saying it's a question bag because I'm using something that I'm literally about to prove right now. Okay, it's not a
Well,
question bag. I'm literally proving it. You didn't actually question whether or not the kanji said that. I'm pulling it up right now.
here,
You said okay, can you pull it up? So that's not a
here,
question bag. When you literally
here.
just question it, that's not a
Dude,
question bag, bro.
I didn't say you question back with regards to the kanji, dude. I said you question back with regard to the mentality point. The
Okay, I'm
kanji thing
saying
is
the
the
mentality
kanji thing.
point.
The kanji thing is a whole separate thing. You can pull that up. That's fine. But I'm saying with regards to directly to the mentality thing and whether or not he's letting Hikari run out the clock. That's what I was
Dude,
saying you question bagged on, and that's why I said my position on that was more parsimonious because of other things. But the kanji thing, that's a whole separate thing. I want to see the kanji for that.
I got you, but I don't know how you're not understanding it. I'm saying it's not a question bag because the mentality point is dependent upon the kanji in which I'm literally about to pull up in which you just
Oh,
questioned. Yeah,
wait. Why
so
is the mentality thing contingent upon that? You don't think those things can be
okay.
trivially false and true at the same time? Like, as in one can be
Okay.
false, the other can
Yeah.
be true?
The reason that when I say dependent, I'm saying that it's just supported by this. I don't mean that in literal sense, but yeah.
Oh,
The
okay.
yeah,
I see.
yeah.
I mean,
I'm
I
pulling
still
up real
think it
quick.
could be
Hold on.
trivial. I think you still think it can be trivially false, even if what you said is true. I think they can work as separate things. Like your point can still stand without the Kashmir mentality thing. However, I think that generally, unless there's some type of proof for it directly, I don't even think this would serve as proof. It would just serve as like some type of counter interpretation to the statement I gave, and actual proof for the assumption. That's why I don't know if it would actually justify it. But we can look at the kanji first. I think that's the most important thing. So, bro, Shogun, what the hell do you have in your background?
GTA.
This nigga's a troll.
I guess I'm trolling.
Bro, these niggas wanted me to debate Pew so bad, and then I debated him, bro. That's crazy. Same day I was saying that's some burger shit, bro.
Find it in my camera roll, bro. I gotta go fucking retranslate it real quick. Give me like 2 seconds, bro. I can find it real quick.
Yeah, I got you, bro. Don't worry
Who was
about it.
saying that though? You talking about like on Discord or like niggas on
No,
TikTok?
no, I'm on TikTok. They were talking about because I was saying you didn't beat Kashima, and they were like, "Bro, you got to
Bro,
debate Pew. He's the Kashima guy."
niggas
And
on
I
TikTok do that shit all the time.
literally, I had to tell them, bro. I was like, "Bro, they don't know. We've debated like 10 times before. Like, I knew you before the TikTok, like JJK shit. They don't know." Like, I was like, "Bro, it's crazy." Yeah, let me know when you get the panels or the translation. Oops, accidentally made my camera off. Let me see real quick. Let me fix my prompt. It'd be some shit like this. Yeah, this is the tech, bro. Hold on. Udem works here, everyone at once. I don't know about at once, but he does beat them all one on one. Yeah, three shiny new curse techniques. Yeah, Udem would get washed, but it's very debatable. In the 3v1, yeah, he gets washed. Individually, he beats them all like really badly though. It's not debatable. Yuta can copy Kashma's curse technique. If he, I don't know, why would he ever want to use Kashma's curse technique? That's like that's literally the last thing he would want to do. Because like if the second he uses it, he dies. Like why would he ever want to use it? Some dumb shit. Um, why would Yuta let Yuki hit her? Why wouldn't the world be, bro? Yuki would never hit Yuta. She's slower. She's weaker. She can hit harder, but she's slower. Sky manipulation hard counters her, and she gets domain diffed as well. Like it's really, but she's just worse at everything. Why is base Kashimo not relative to Akari? It happens on panel. I'll show it to you. I'm actually talking about that with Pew right now. He went to go get a translation for one of the scans, but I can show it to you.
Yeah, I just got it. I'm finna translate it real quick and then I'm finna show you.
Right. Well, let me just show Golden this because he wanted to see the panels. Okay, Golden. So this is it basically. You see Akari starts trying more. Round ends about to end. He just pummels Kashimo. His movements are even faster now. Did blah blah blah. He just pummels Kashimo again. Kashimo goes for a counter punch. He gets pummeled by Hikari again, bro. Like it's really bad. That's why I think Hikari's not relative to base Kashimo. But yeah. Give me one
Okay,
second.
it's right here.
Well, give me 1 second. I want to pull up something. But you can show me the translation while you're at it, though. Hold on.
Yeah, it's right here.
Expand the screen.
And also, another part of the argument is furthermore than just the kanji, but like it's also supported. Like I mean, like bro, I don't know how the fuck, bro. There's no way you genuinely believe this, but hopefully you don't after the debate, bro. But like, fucking like contextually speaking, with a narrative implication, when people use specific strategies against someone, it's due to the fact that they do have some sort of like relevant factor against the fight. So for example, like him dropping them above the water, that's a strategy, and him trying to fight more aggressive, that's a strategy. And typically when people do those things, it's in response to somebody that has some sort of relative competitive prowess against them. Like they don't do that against niggas that they're just way above.
That can be attributed to things other than Kashimo's speed. Like the fact Kashimo, right before this, he hit him off guard with the return stroke.
I'm saying, but the return stroke is dependent upon his physical capacity, in which that's the relevant manner there.
No, actually it isn't. Return stroke isn't dependent about hitting him, actually. That's
Oh,
what
oh,
the
I thought you
regular
was talking
charge
about the
is.
I thought you was talking about the discharge. He has no idea about that.
Nah,
So yeah, I don't know how
yeah,
you
yeah,
prove
yeah.
that. He has no idea about that shit. I'm not gonna lie.
Well, yeah, no, because he gets hit. Because what happens is, hold on. Literally, what happens is he gets hit with the discharge. Like I'll show it to you. He gets hit off guard with the discharge. Like, hold on.
When you say return
He
stroke, are you talking about the lightning one, like the one
No,
with
my
the
bad, not
staff?
this
The
discharge.
staff?
Yeah, yeah, with the staff. Yeah, he gets hit
Yeah.
off guard with it, and then after that, he has to pop domain and drop Kashimo in the ocean. He's adopting the strategy not because of something Kashimo did speed wise, but because of the fact he got hit with this attack, which doesn't actually scale Kashimo's speed at all whatsoever. He gets
Okay.
hit off
Well,
guard with it.
I'm saying that him using the strategy in the first place, because obviously he gets healed up back after this shit. So I'm saying him using the strategy in the first place implies that Kashimo has some relevant combative prowess towards Wakari. Like if you're saying, okay, you think he can use the return stroke, him using the return stroke has a physical dependency. So he's worried about that, and that's what he's responding to by using the strategy. If you
Not
think that to be the
really.
case.
You don't think, okay,
Yes.
well, one, it doesn't have to necessarily necessitate relativity. It could just be a way in which that is easier to win the fight, right? Obviously, doing something that's easier doesn't mean that you had to do that thing. It's the same way when Yuta sneaks Kenjaku. It's not because he has to sneak Kenjaku. It could just be because of the fact that sneaking Kenjaku makes the job easier. You can apply this to like almost anything ever. Like, for example, if you go and when you're shooting a two-pointer in basketball, if you shoot like a mid-range, but instead of shooting the mid-range, you go for a layup. Right? It doesn't mean you couldn't make the mid range. It just means it's easier to get the 2 points via making a layup than to shoot the mid range, right? It's like the
Okay.
same thing here.
Well, the Yuta example, that's not even a good example because he actually is relative to Kenjaku, but that actually doesn't matter. Like, okay, I'm saying based on a typical occurrence, this would be the case. Like, obviously, there could be outliers in which you wouldn't do such, but based on a typical occurrence, since we're going off the specific instance in which it's ambiguous, like we already stated. But then the Yuta thing, obviously, Yuta's actually relative to him because I don't know what you're talking about. Like, obviously, if he's trying to avoid a prolonged battle, the prolongation would occur due to some hindrance. So when you try to give the basketball analogy, that's not even correlative because you shooting a three and you shooting a layup is just based on your physical attributes, whereas there's another entity in which we're referencing, and they actually apply some hindrance to prolong the battle.
Hold on one
Because that's
second.
what
I
he's
didn't hear the
avoiding.
last
That's what
part of
he's
what you
trying to.
said.
Basically,
But I think the more relevant part was that was you saying it's some typical occurrence, but I don't agree to that. This is the typical occurrence in which that thing would be relevant. That's the part in which I don't agree with. That's what's in question. Like I don't agree that would ever be true.
I just said why
Um,
it is, and I said the analogies that you gave actually don't support that position that you try to debunk it with.
Hold on. Okay, yeah, we talked about the basketball analogy. Can you repeat what your contention with the basketball analogy was? Because the
Yeah.
Yuden Kenjaku analogy, the whole point was that it's not meant to be well, how do I put this? It's more so not meant to say Yuta is literally like way better than Kajaku. I'm just saying they didn't do it because Yuta is relative to Kajaku. They can be true. It can be trivially true that they are relative. But what I'm saying is they didn't do it because they are relative. They did it because it's easier. It would have been the same
Okay,
if they did it with even someone who's way stronger than Kajaku. So it's like,
well, I'll explain both of them again. I'm saying the conflation with the Yuta example is because you're disregarding the fact that regardless, they're taking into account that it's going to invoke some sort of prolonged battle in which you also have to put the context in which they're trying to fight Sukuna, in which obviously the nigga's going to try to do his best to conserve all his fucking energy, whereas Hikari is literally just fighting Kashima on a random fucking day. Okay,
well, that's
those
the
two
thing though.
scenarios
Like
aren't correlative.
the
And
the
then
reason as to why he's doing that can be attributed to other things than Kashima's arsenal. That can make the fight relative, even if it's not his own stats. Also, by the way, I pulled up the translation for the statement. It doesn't say what your translation said at all whatsoever. It to me literally reads out as, I'll make it bigger for you. Hold on. Sorry. It directly. Oh, oops. It's like really big. It says this guy, his movements are getting even faster, and that's to translate this
go to
right
what the
here.
other ones tell it to put like just explain the kanji because obviously like it's contextual. Say like just state the synonyms or some shit like that. Say like state the synonyms or translate all possible interpretations or most possible interpretations
Yeah,
because that's
I'll just tell it to analyze the kanji.
yeah.
It's doing so right now. His movements. And it says even more, blah blah. So that's okay. Let me read the full thing. Yeah, okay, look. So it says, okay, so the first kanji is just saying, okay, this is his movements, right? Because obviously it's speaking with regards to Akari's movements. Then it says even more, right? It says further, more, anew, blah, 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 right? Further, even more, still,
Okay,
additionally, whatever. And then later it says fast. So he's additionally fast. He's more fast. He's more quick. He's additionally quick. He's even more quick. Like those are the types of things that this would mean.
well
And
that's the wrong thing that was what I was asking because that's not even how kanji works. When you're talking about translating kanji, you have to put all the kanji together to actually derive the context in which they're trying to say. So like obviously one specific thing within the thing could say fast, but then contextually speaking within the whole entire actual thing, it doesn't mean that he's getting way faster. So I don't know why I did that. I'm not gonna lie.
wait,
Just ask, what did you ask it?
I asked it just to translate it. Basically, the initial thing I said is, okay, translate the statement,
Hold
right?
on.
That's all I said. Just said translate. Then after it gives me that, because the whole thing in context, right? To give the whole thing, it says, oh yeah, his movements are getting even faster. That's what it says with the whole context. Then I said, okay, analyze the kanji for the statement that says he's getting faster, right? Analyze that kanji. Then it says, okay, kanji by kanji. Individually, it would mean that it would say one is saying more and the other is saying faster. So he's getting more faster, which means his speed is increasing. Then you scroll down to the very bottom of it, and it says, even in context, it's saying with the whole thing, the literal rendering, it says his movements are even faster. So like,
Bro, look, I'm not gonna lie, your shit's saying I don't think you're asking it the right question because my shit I'm about to show you. Like I genuinely don't think you asked the right question because
and
you
I
have
can
to
show you the
actually
kanji because kanji's
no
meaning doesn't
no. But I'm
change. Because
saying,
in
but I'm saying,
Japanese, they have
no,
distinct
look,
kanji for different words. You know that,
no,
right?
no. But I'm
So
saying, look, hold
yeah,
on. I'm saying
I'll
that
expand your screen.
the thing that you're showing, it's not correlative to what I'm saying. I'm saying that, well, like for example, I could put it in English way, right? Let's say hypothetically, actually, no, I don't even. English isn't kind of like Japanese, but let's say hypothetically, somebody said somebody's fast as fuck, right? Or somebody's getting faster, and then or they add more context. And the context in which they say they're getting faster, it's just like they were doing things in a more fast manner, but their physicals wasn't actually increasing. Do you see how that context changes it?
Wait, my fault. Repeat the first word you said. Sorry, I zoned out. I was reading the chapter. I'm sorry. Repeat it.
Let's say like if somebody like you have a just blank statement of faster, right?
Hmm.
But then you add more words and it says um faster as in like the cook was washing the dishes out of or no, that's actually not a good example that like helps you. Okay, let's say I don't know what did I say before? I don't even remember. I said oh yeah, he's doing faster as in like he's going faster as in he's doing the things in a quicker manner, but his physicals aren't actually increasing. Because you do know you can do that, right?
Wait, so how would he wait? So with context of the fight, how is he going to do things in a quicker manner without actually physically getting faster? And what
Okay.
would be the methodology towards doing that?
Okay, well I'm
Because all
actually
we
not.
see is just physical. Like I get what you're trying to say, but I'm saying in context of the fight that doesn't make sense because all he's doing is just throwing
No, no,
kicks and
I
punches.
agree. I know. No, in English, it's weird, but I'm saying that's why I'm giving you an example as to like context can change the thing, and I'm saying that because obviously like faster just means like more speed in English. That's what I'm saying. It's weird to put it in English because it's not the same as fucking Japan or Japanese. But you're leaving out the whole entire kanji because you could search just or you could ask ChatGPT this. It'll literally tell you right now. I did it like a while ago when I was doing the One Piece Big Mom translations. But if you leave the kanji by themselves, rather than you put them all together, they literally translate to different things. Like Japanese people, the way they determine meanings is the whole kanji as a whole, rather than each kanji single-handedly.
Oh yeah, I agree. I 100% agree. That's why I said, okay, even if we look at the kanji besides how they look individualistically, right? If we put them all together, which is what ChatGPT did, it said, okay, that's what it means individually. And then when you put it all together in the sentence for context, right? Then it's saying, okay, it still means his movements are even faster. And if you disagree, I can also put it into other
No, but look,
translators as well.
just ask it. Just ask it the possible interpretations, like I did. It's gonna tell you the same exact shit, bro. I'm saying you didn't
Okay,
ask the right
cool.
question.
Hold
Because
on.
if you
First,
ask
I'm
for the
at
possible
first.
interpretations, it's gonna say it.
First, I'm gonna ask it to give me the kanji, and then I'm gonna ask it to give me all the possible translations. Hold on.
I asked the same thing and it told me this. Let me
Okay, sure.
and
Hold on.
we're both on
First,
chat. We're
yeah.
both on ChatGPT.
Hold on. Give me 1 second. So first, here's the kanji, the exact Japanese text, right? Copy pasting it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we're gonna copy it. We're gonna put it into different translators, right? Okay, well, like for example,
No,
we'll
no, no.
do
Don't do a different translator. That's fine. It
no,
doesn't
just
need
to,
to be in
just
a
to
different
like
translator.
check consistency, right? Because obviously
Okay,
you think
good.
there's some issue with ChatGPT, right? So obviously, given that you
I
think
don't
there's
think
gonna
there's
be
a
context
I
that
don't think
saves
there's an
it.
issue with ChatGPT. That's not what I said. I said I think there's an issue with the question you asked. That's why I said just ask it the other question.
Okay, sure. But here in Google Translate also says the movements are getting faster. And back to ChatGPT. I asked it, okay, give me the kanji, and then I also said, you can look. I said, give me all of the possible translations.
Mm-hmm.
Usual, it says his movements are even faster. Yeah, all of these are just saying that he's moving faster. Like his
Bro, why did
movements is
yours say the
faster.
complete opposite of mine? I swear to God, I asked it the same exact thing, and yours is literally saying the exact opposite. I could literally do. Wait, hold on, bro, because I swear to God, I asked the same question. Wait, what panel
Yeah,
did you do? Like, what
I
the,
did I did this panel, and
yo,
I
yo.
can drag to the kanji as well. It's this thing where he says this guy, his movements are even faster now. Then I got the
Wait,
kanji
is
for
it
that, as you can see at the very top. This statement right here.
okay? Let me see, because I have the same exact picture, bro. Like, I swear, why the fuck does it say the literal opposite of what the first shit, bro?
I don't know, bro. Because Pew, that's what I was saying. Like, it's surprising when you gave the translation. That's why I was surprised. Because like I've translated that statement before, and it quite literally just does say his movements are just getting faster. This is like I just think it's like really consistent. Where do you
Oh
go?
wait, no, I know the problem. I see the problem. Okay, wait.
What's up? What's up?
You translated the panel where Kashimo's talking, right?
Yeah, because that's
Okay,
the
yeah,
statement I'm
I,
referencing.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, okay, that's the problem. I agree that Kashimo does actually say he's getting faster, but contextually, I think it's attributed to him fighting more bold. Okay, so the thing that I'm showing that's the problem. I was like, bro, what the fuck is going on, bro? Because I'm literally, but the problem is the one that I'm showing, it's where Hikari is saying what he's doing. Hikari is saying that he's gonna fight in a more bold manner, and I
Oh
think that the
yeah.
context in which Kashimo says he's getting faster is attributed to him fighting in a more bold manner rather than he's moving faster. That was the problem. I
Okay.
was like, bro, why is it fucking? I was so confusing.
Okay, I understand your interpretation now. So there's two issues with that, right? So first, I just want to make it clear those two things can be trivially true at the same time. It can be true that he's gotten physically faster. It can also be true that he's fighting in a more bold manner at the same time,
Yeah, I
right?
agree.
Those two things can coexist. But to explain why it's not going to only be or purely be attributed towards his fighting style is because the verbiage doesn't make sense for it to mean so unless we go via some idiosyncratic usage of the words, which isn't consistent or like, well, not even consistent, but like isn't typically used that way. Like people don't typically say, "Okay, his movements are even faster," because he's not saying, "Okay, Akari's fighting style is faster now" or whatever. He's saying his movements, like the his arm moving, his leg moving, the physical movements are faster, which is also explained via the kanji as well. Which is what they directly say. The movements themselves are faster.
Yeah,
So
I
it
agree the
seems to be
movements
the
are faster, but it's like, okay,
okay.
the movements would be faster in the sense where rather than him actually going fighting in a manner where he's anticipating Kashimo's attacks, this nigga doesn't give a fuck to anticipate Kashimo's attacks anymore. He's literally just fighting. That literally is moving faster, bro. Like that's still what that means. So both of our interpretations are possible. I agree. Like we're literally gonna have an interpretation battle if we keep going back and forth. That's why I said I just think that the context in which I can actually provide in which like narrative implications and actually feats within the fight, mine would be further supported rather than we just say, okay, there's this one example where this nigga's getting beat on and he's not relative to a card for some odd reason.
Wait, that's fine. Wait, then that's fine because we literally just agree. As long as we agree that this version of Akari Kagashima just doesn't scale to in terms of stats. And the reason why he doesn't scale to in the stats is because Hikari didn't stop caring about the defensive, and now he just went fully on the offensive. When Hikari goes fully
Or
on the
not.
offensive, Kashimo doesn't scale to his type of attack speed. That's fine.
Nah. That doesn't mean he doesn't scale to him because for one, like I said, under the interpretation, he's not actually moving in a higher rate, and then for two, under my interpretation, Kashimo's literally letting this happen. It's not like he's actually getting beat on.
Well, okay, the letting him happen thing what was in question, which we haven't justified yet because it would be contingent on, like you said, it would be contingent on this thing, which you admitted at best for you is just 50% probability, which I think it's less, right? Just given the actual explanation I gave, but at best it'd be 50% equal interpretation, which wouldn't actually justify the thing that you laid out prior. And then what was the second thing you said?
Okay, well, for one, I didn't agree that it's equal interpretation. I really don't think it's equal
You just
interpretation,
said
bro.
it. You
But
just
okay, look, I'm giving the context. I
possible.
don't think it's equal interpretation. I think that mine is more supported. Right? I'm saying that in the specific scenario in which if I don't actually give another argument, then yeah, it'll be equal interpretation. Like if I just say, okay, this should happen, yeah, bro, it's equal interpretation. But I have actual context in which it wouldn't be more equal or equal interpretation.
Okay, what's the additional context here that's saving the argument?
Okay, yeah. So the context, right? For one, right, we understand that. Well, we're gonna have to go back over this point. We kind of skipped past it, right? But let me say all of them first. For one, right, typically in JJK, characters tend to go all out when they're fighting somebody. Like when they're fighting somebody and it's a 1v1 fight, unless it's like villains, I guess we would say, they hold back. But typically the fucking sorcerers, they just try to finish the objective as quick as possible. Like Yuta, he fucks up Drew pretty quick, even though that nigga Drew is like ass as fuck. Right? Like when they try to fucking fight these people, it's not like they try to prolong these fights. That's only the villains that seem to do that, I'm not gonna lie. And then
Whoa.
for two, like I said earlier, we understand that strategies, typically it's in response to some sort of relevant combative prowess. If you don't have a relative combative prowess, whatever it may be, then they probably won't use a strategy on you. And given that the combative prowess that Kashimo has does involve a physical dependency, then he's worried about the physical dependency of Kashimo, which then he was killed on, seemingly. And then, yeah, I think that's all I need.
Yeah, there's just a bunch of issues with that. So first, I just want to say really quickly, trying to take someone out quickly does not necessitate you going all out. Just want to make that clear. But secondly, I also just wanted to note the Yuta example is actually a horrible example. It actually goes against the generality we're trying to provide because it's explicitly stated Yuta is holding back literally right after that. He's not using RCT, he's not using Rika. So it's just stated he's explicitly holding back. He's trying to hold back so that they don't see his full arsenal, don't see his full kit. So that's like the worst like example to using. Yuta's a good guy. And then
Let me
two, the
respond to that
induction.
part real quick because I got bad memory and I don't want to forget, but I have
Yeah, I
a
can show you the
response for
panel.
that.
I can show you the panel
No,
for
no,
that if you
no.
want.
I know what to say. It's already like that's false. I know what to say, but yeah. For one, that's not Drew. That's Kurashima or whatever the fuck the nigga's name is. And for two,
Yeah.
that's literally contextual, right? He's doing that because there's people watching him in which he doesn't want them to actually understand his power. So you're literally giving context as to why this wouldn't be the case. It's not like he's just fighting somebody and he's holding back. For three, I never said that just because he's trying to fucking defeat him quickly, that means he's going all. I'm saying that he doesn't defeat him quickly. It's a prolonged fight, but they tend to try to do this anyway, in which he was obviously failing in this. So it seems that they're going to be relative.
Um, that's fine. Okay, if you're just trying to limit it to the Daruf thing specifically, that's fine. The Kuroshi thing obviously is like a separate manner. Obviously, there's additional context to that. Obviously, there's another reason as to why he wanted to hold back is because Rico's protecting the civilians. But if you don't value that, that's fine. I just don't think there's any proof because the Daruf thing wasn't an extended fight. The Kuroshi thing was only an extended fight because he wasn't using his capabilities and because of the fact he wasn't taking Kuroshi seriously. But either way, I think all of this is just kind of rendered useless. Um, when we just literally just know, it's just the induction only applies unless there's proof that states otherwise, and we have proof that states otherwise. We know Hikari didn't go all out physically, at the very minimum. Even if you want to say he's relative overall, we know at least at the bare minimum he wasn't going all out physically. Otherwise, him going all out later doesn't start moving faster if you were already moving at the fastest speed you could possibly move at prior.
This
Like
is
you
in
understand, like
question.
that
We're
works. Like it
literally
doesn't make sense. Like for example, like hold on, you
your
can't
mic
start
got weird
moving
as
at a
fuck.
speed.
Your
Sorry,
mic
hold
got.
on, my
Oh,
shit
there it
been
goes.
laggy.
Yeah, there we go. There we go. Because that shit
Yeah,
started sounding.
sorry. Yeah, I got you. I got you. I was just saying it's literally just false that Hikari went out. Even if there's some type of generality that could be applied, which I don't even agree to, but even if there was, it wouldn't apply to Hikari because those types of things just function as predictive models for this series. But if the predictive model is false here, which is just exemplified through Hikari, right? Because of the fact that you have direct evidence he was holding back. Because of the fact that he said his movements are getting faster. Your movements can't get faster if they were already at the maximum capacity they were able to be at prior, which is what's necessary to be going all out. And as to respond to the other thing, um, as for the relative fighters thing using strategies, that's fine and all. I don't think it matters because I already addressed that earlier. I said it can be the fight itself can be relative, but that can be attributed to things non-relevant towards Kashimo's stats or overall compatibility, but because of the fact Kashimo off guards him with the return stroke. And then now Kakari's like, okay, damn, this guy can use return stroke as well. He can off guard at any point in time in which he wants. Yeah, this isn't even a stats thing for Kashimo, but instead because of the fight overall, how it has went generally, yeah, man, now I actually have to utilize some strategy because the fight so far has been relative, even if that's not attributed towards some type of statistical difference. But yeah.
Okay, well, for one, you said it's false because his movements gets faster, and which is in question. We're literally, we're
No, you
literally
agreed
talking
his movements
about
get
what?
faster.
Hold on,
You
wait,
agreed to
hold on,
that.
hold on. All right, no, I didn't. I literally, bro, I don't know why you think I agreed to that. That's crazy work. I literally explained why when they say he's getting faster, it doesn't mean he's literally getting faster. So that's in question. I literally never agreed that he's actually getting faster ever. I would never agree to that. Why would I agree to that? For two, I already told you that I literally said verbatim when I gave the argument. I said we didn't conclude on these specific topics in which we're referencing. If he was actually using the strategy, then he would be relative. Because I literally said verbatim when I gave the argument. I said we're gonna have to get back into that because we kind of just skipped over it. And then for three, you saying that he can off guard him with the return stroke and that's what he's afraid of. For one, when you say he off guards him, the time when he lands the fucking return stroke is like we said when he ends the domain. Okay, so him being tagged in base doesn't imply that he get tagged in jackpot. For two, you're talking about him being off guarded. That directly implies that Kashimo has the sustainability to actually do his attack and relevance towards what's his name? Hikari. And then, like you said, he literally drops him over the water. But if you think that him fucking is he scared to fight? Unless you think he's scared to fight him in base, that's like the only interpretation I could see that you're trying to follow. But like what you're saying doesn't actually follow unless you think he's scared of fighting him in base. That's the only way. I'm not gonna lie.
Hold on. To respond to the first thing, I do hope you understand. Yeah, you did agree to it, and I'll verbatim quote, and it is on recording, and I can quote what you said too. You said that you think Hikari gets physically faster. You said that on quote. We can ask the people in the chat; they would remember it as well.
Well, we
And
can
then you
we can
said,
just
and
get
you
the
said,
rec
and you
for that.
said,
That's false.
yeah,
I'll
we
tell you
can
what
get
I
the.
said verbatim. Well, I'll
I'll,
tell you what I
yeah,
said.
I'll show you the recording, but either way, I'll explain the context in which you said it. You also said, yes, Akari gets physically faster because he starts fighting in a different way that makes him move physically faster. That is
Bro,
what
that
you
is not
said,
what I
quote.
said. This is
Yeah,
what I
you
said.
said
You're
because,
probably gonna remember. Hold on, let me say what I said because you're just lying, bro. And this is literally gonna be on the rec. I don't know why the fuck
wallahi,
you're
you
lying.
said on
This
recording. I'm
look,
not even
okay.
lying. Like you dead ass
Just
said
saying,
that.
wallahi, I promise you, when you get the rec, you're gonna be lying. This is on my sister gang. I promise you. I don't lie on my
Yo,
sister.
so
But
wait,
look,
so if I
wait,
interact
hold on,
right
hold on.
now,
Just let me
it
say what I
wouldn't show
said.
you
But
saying
yeah,
Akari
you
gets
could
physically
literally
faster?
yes, you can unlock right now. But let me say what I said first, just so we can clarify. This is what I said,
Okay,
okay?
sure.
And it's gonna be on the rec, bro. I said that the context can imply that he's getting physically faster, but under the interpretation, it seems that when Kashimo says he's getting faster, it's in a manner in which he's disregarding the actual defensive capacity and he's just fighting in an offensive manner and not actually trying to anticipate Kashimo. We can get the rec though if you wanna right
Yeah,
there.
yeah,
I literally
we can get the recording, yeah, because you
okay.
explicitly said, yeah, you said, because when we talked about how those two things can be trivially true at the same time, we also mentioned about how Hakari, whatchamacallit, yeah, when I brought up how it's literally just the verbiage of the statement would just directly imply he has to have some type of physical increase. You were just like, yeah, that's fine. He can have a physical increase, but that can be because of the fact that he's fighting in a different way, which would make him fight or at least utilize some type of
Yeah,
additional
no,
physical
that's a crazy
capabilities. But
tracking
yeah,
error. That's what I'm not. That's a crazy
it's
tracking
not.
error. I'm not
Wallahi,
gonna.
it's not.
I
I
ain't
can
gonna
show
lie.
you.
Wait,
I'll get you the rec.
do you want that right now, or you want to continue with like under the assumption that I didn't agree?
I'd rather just get the recording right now because we already went
All right,
over
bet.
most of the stuff that we really care about, anyways.
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie. I promise you, bro. Yeah, just unlock, bro.
Yeah.
Bro. All
Wait,
right,
dude,
gang.
wallahi, I'm gonna show you in 10 minutes. I'm gonna get the
Bro,
recording.
I
I'm just
know.
gonna show you a clip of you just saying,
Hey,
yeah,
bro.
Akari
I'm
gets
away.
physically
Look,
faster.
just show the whole context because what I agree to, just to be clear, I agree that your interpretation was possible, and I still agree. Like, I agree it could be possible that the nigga's getting faster. But bro, you got to really think about it. Like, there's no way you like, bro. I mean, actually, you're not gonna agree. It doesn't matter. But yeah, I agreed it was possible, bro. So you can just get the right. I
Oh
don't know
no,
what the fuck
okay.
you're talking
You
about.
did not say it was possible, nigga. You were like, okay, yeah, it's cool, and it can be because of the fact he has a higher
Yeah,
fighting
I
style,
was
which just
literally
makes them both trivially true.
just get the right, bro. This is a tracking
Yeah,
right
yeah,
game. I ain't
sure,
gonna
I
lie.
got you. Hey,
All
good
right,
talk
so
though. Peace out.
for sure.